Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Empty Pan. This is not the video that I wanted to show you, but I've spent 3 weeks on this video. I've spent a lot of money on this video, and everybody knows that this is a journey of a learning experience from not finding gold and to finding gold. And so far, we've been on a journey of finding gold. Ladies and gentlemen, I present the following. I have 20 pounds of hard rock gold ore. We're going to crush it down and melt it. By the end of this video, I'll have roasted it, crushed it, panned it out, and then hopefully melted it down into one shiny gold button or one giant shiny disappointment. Either way, it's going to be epic. Grab your pan and stay tuned. Welcome back to the Empty Pan, where the pans are always empty, but the dreams are still golden. Today we're going big, like 20 pounds of hard rock gold ore big. I've got the crusher, I've got the torches, I've got the crucible, and I've got the confidence of a man who watched many gold prospecting documentaries. This isn't pay dirt. This is hard rock gold ore laden with quartz and sulfides. The job is simple. We're going to crush it down. We're going to get all the shinies out of it, and we're going to throw away the trash. Sounds easy, right? I should have thought about that before I bought a manually operated rock crusher. I got this ore from Jason over at Mount Baker Mining and Metals, Mount Baking Metals and Mining, or Mount Baker Mining and Metals. Before we get to crushing it up, I'm going to go look through it. There was a couple pieces that I thought that I saw some visible gold. So if we see any specimens, I'm probably going to separate those out. These digger pieces, I'm probably going to whack with my hammer and crush them down a little bit so they fit, so they roast down a little easier. But yeah, I really hope that I find a specimen in there because I want to have a nice specimen. So stay tuned, and we're going to get back. If I see anything special, we'll bring you back for that before we start the roasting process. All right, pro tip. Don't breathe this stuff in. It smells like burnt pennies and regret. Well, I didn't find any visible gold. I looked. There was one piece that I saw some yellow in. But I mean, since it was maybe, might be, I threw it in there. We're going to crush it down. We're going to extract the gold. So, yeah, I got my fire going. These rocks are wet, but that moisture is going to boil off. I got my little, I had my little, there it is. I got my little leaf blower. And that brings the heat up. So I'm gonna let that roast for a couple hours, and then we'll bring you back in. We'll see what happens with this. Hopefully it doesn't blow up in my face. All right, that has been cooking for about an hour, maybe less. They're still rocks, but they're a lot hotter now. I'm gonna show you real quick. I mean, it doesn't look like much right now, but when you put this little leaf blower on it, it gets up there. And I do have a anti-fire suppression system set up. My garden hose. So we're gonna let this keep cooking. Try and roast off all those sulfides. Sulfides make it harder to pan out, so we're trying to get rid of all the sulfides. Plus, we're gonna dump those rocks into cold water, and we're gonna shock them so they hopefully crush up down a lot easier. It's probably gonna make me go into the next day, because after I shock it, it's gonna have to dry out before I crush it down. Because you can't crush it when it's wet, or it's just gonna make mud. So there's that. But we're gonna keep going on this. Oh yeah. Hey, while I'm thinking about it, 96.6% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. You just go down there, you click that little subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, then you leave a comment and you go, Empty Pan, you're my favorite YouTuber. And that's as simple as it is. So go ahead, hit that like, subscribe, and comment down below. The roof, the roof, the roof is on fire. All right, we'll be back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been quite a while. I don't know if you can tell or not, but all this material has changed color. I'm kind of hoping that all the sulfides have burned off. I'm just going to let this keep going. It's not going to hurt anything. And I'm going to have to continue this on tomorrow anyways. Yeah, that's changed a lot. Definitely don't breathe that stuff in. But yeah, I think the next scene we're going to show is cooling these off. So get ready for that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, do not try this at home. I am what you would call an idiot. So I'm going to be able to do this. You should not do this. Okay, that did nothing. Didn't even make a noise. Oh man, it stinks. Definitely don't breathe that stuff in. Yep, this is very heavy, very hot. Oh. There's a little dust in the bottom of that cast iron Dutch oven, but I'm gonna wait for that to cool off before I even do anything with that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I broke that down. I broke those into smaller pieces, more manageable pieces, because they wouldn't fit in my rock crusher. And it looked like they still had sulfides on the inside of them. So I have put them back on. We're going to just keep roasting them until we can't roast them no more. Okay, it is the next day, and I just wanted to show you the material real quick. Now, see how it's like there's a big pile of it over here, and then there's a bunch of little rocks over here. Last night, I took my magnivisor. Now, these are what I use to work on watches my watches on. These are 20x magnification lenses. So you can get really close up on stuff. Not to mention it has an LED light. So I inspected this whole pile off to the left with my magnivisors, and I was like really up close on them. And I have not seen any visible gold. I didn't check the small pile over here because I already went through that whole pile and I did not see one piece of visible gold. All right, but I did want to bring you in because I broke this one rock open, and I don't know if the macro lens will zoom in on it, but it is just filled with pyrite. There's another piece down here, just filled with pyrite. I set these pieces off to the side so I could show you.
This is that one piece that I thought that I may have saw something yellow on, but where I thought I saw something yellow on was right there. And after the cooking down process, the roasting, there's no more yellow thing on there. So, man, I wish I could find that one piece. Oh, here it is. Look at all that. I wish the sun was out so it would do it justice. But there is a lot of mineralization in it. The point about my magnivisor is, though, is I have not seen one piece of visible gold at all. Not none. So I'm getting very worried that there's not going to be a phase 4 of this. If there's no gold, there's nothing I can smelt down. So I would love to do the smelting. Maybe that'll be a different pay dirt or rock. But yeah, my neighbors are about to be very unhappy with me. Look at that. Look at all that pyrite, that chalcopyrite in there. I hope the camera is doing it justice. I hope the light is good enough. Very mineralized. Very mineralized. He even said that you got to look for the flat spots, and then under the flat spots, I looked. I looked on every one of these pieces, and I didn't see any visible gold. So I'm getting very worried. Very, very worried. But we're going to continue on the process. We're going to crush this down. I even roasted the dust. So we're going to crush this down, and we're going to get it microscopic because we want to catch every piece of gold there is. So stay tuned. All right. Now it's time for the fun part. I call this thing Mr. Rogers because if you do this thing too early in the morning, you find out how much your neighbors really want to be your neighbor. So, boom. Yeah, I should have bought a powered one. I have a lot of rock to crush. All right. I have a bucket here, and I have my 20 mesh classifier. I'm hoping 20 mesh would be good enough. Anything that doesn't get crushed in the 20 mesh goes back in. Oops. All right, there's a tablespoon done. Oh, maybe I should be wearing eye protection. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go get my eye protection. All right, make sure you're always wearing your safety protection when you're doing this. Eyes, ears, eyes and ears and digits. Wow. Mr. Rogers. This is going to take forever. All right, here's a quick update. Smashing it with that little rock crusher is taking me all day. I started at 9 a.m. It's now 12:30. It's probably quarter to 1. What I did was I broke out the S-Wing and I started crushing up the bigger size rocks and the smaller size rocks down here. And I crushed my finger. So, this is going to go for anybody who's considering buying this material and you're ill prepared. You don't have a automatic rock crusher. You don't have the right tools. I would lean away from this material. I haven't seen any gold. I've crushed my finger, literally crushed my finger. I was gushing blood all over the house. I was hitting the rock so hard I broke that cast iron plate right there. So, not going as expected. And this is going to take me all year to crush down the material like this. So, going to have to do something else, come up with a better idea. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is the next day. Even though I was wearing protective gloves, I don't know if you can see the discoloration on that finger, I managed to injure myself. I was turning the big rocks into little rocks. This takes an extremely long time. If you think that you're going to buy a 20-pound bag of gold ore and crush it up with this, I'm sorry to inform you that you're sadly mistaken. This has taken a extremely lot of elbow grease, extremely lot of time and effort, and this is minus 20. This is everything that's minus 20. I'd say there's about, I don't know, 3 cups of material in there. This is everything that's minus ½ inch. That's as far as I'm going to get it down because it takes an extremely long time to do it. I am going to grind that down even farther, but that's as far as I'm going to do it manually. Okay, this takes a long time. Since I injured my hand, it really hurts to do the motion, the impact. It really hurts my finger. Even though I'm wearing safety equipment, you have to be careful and you're going to injure yourself. So what I've been doing is filling this up with rock, like so. And then I got my chipping hammer. I just put my chipping hammer in there and grinding the rocks down. That's how I'm turning them in from big rocks to little rocks. Okay, so I'm going to keep grinding these down with the chipping hammer. I'm going to keep classifying it down from minus 20 and plus ½ inch. I went to the store this morning and picked up something for the plus ½ inch. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't, I don't know what I'm going to do because this thing is going to take a week to crush all that down into that. So without any further ado, let me get some safety equipment here. I got to get my other hat because my ear pro won't go on over my boonie hat. So yeah, like I said, just fill this up with rocks. I wish I had a better way to do this. I wish I was better prepared, but ow, my finger. Mr. Rogers is doing a fantastic job of just holding the material. I'm sure my neighbors really love being my neighbor right now. Man, I wish you could see this material, how mineralized it is. The GoPro is not going to do it justice because I don't have the macro lens. I sure wish I could have found some visible gold, but hopefully we find some down in the end. I really want to show you guys some gold. And by the way, it's really windy today. The wind's going this way and sometimes this way. You should be wearing a respirator while you're doing this. You do not want to breathe these fumes in. Do not do like I do because I'm an idiot. So I'm going to keep going on that. When I get closer to the end, I'll bring you back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that took an exorbitant amount of time. This is my minus 20, and this is my plus half inch. We've had a casualty along the way. I broke the handle off my rock crusher. It was only attached at 3 points. 2 at the top, boom, and 1 at the bottom. So, yeah, if you think you're going to crush 20 pounds of hard rock ore with this thing, you better do some rethinking. All right. This I consider is good to go. This is not good to go. There's still gold trapped in here. So what I did was I ran up to Walmart and I got one of these cheapy, actually I got 2 of them in case this one breaks, which I have a feeling it's going to break. Coffee grinder. We're going to grind this into this. So I'm going to go get my respirator because this is bound to be a little dusty. And that I didn't mind breathing. That I mind breathing. So we're going to go get my respirator and we're going to start grinding some coffee. Quick update. Day 4. This is all a half-inch material. Actually, it's smaller than that. There's a lot of small material. I'd say there's probably minus 10 in there. Yeah, there's probably minus 10 plus 20 in here. I roasted it again, which is probably dumb. But the coffee grinder, I bought 2 of them because I knew they were going to break. One of them immediately broke. And then the other one, I was gingerly using it like a baby would. Like a baby would use a coffee grinder. And worked really good. But I wore all the blades off of it. There's just like next to nubs. They're just nubby metals. I guess they were aluminum blades and not stainless. So I have an old blender. The problem is it's stripped out. So I went and I bought 2 new propellers. I don't even know what they're called. The grinder part, the business end of the blender. So I bought 2 new ones of those. So what I'm doing is I'm crushing all this plus 20, which is, there's some big in there too. It's minus half inch plus 20. That's what it is. So there's some big pieces in there. I'm not going to put the big pieces in my blender. This is a 10 mesh. So this is all, it was minus 20. No, plus 20. Now it's plus 10. But minus 10. Now it's minus 10. Right. So I have a lot to crush. And Mr. Rogers is doing his job because my neighbors went by and they gave me the 1-finger salute. These guys down here, they decided to fire some peepity pews off. And I don't know if you could hear them in the background. And my second handle is also breaking. What I wanted to do is, because this thing doesn't weigh anything. This is my sledgehammer. I wanted to do that dealie right there. Boom, boom, boom. But I don't have anything to connect it to. I got those hose clamps there, but they're not big enough to wrap around that and this. So that is my day 4 update. This is plus 10 what's in here.
I'm crushing this down, dumping it in here. Whatever goes through. Oh, and by the way, this is minus 50. Let me put this right there for now. This is my plus 10. No, plus 20, minus 10. This is minus 50. It is like concrete dust. So we're doing it. We're minus 50. This is 50 mesh. 50 mesh means there's 50, for every 1 inch, there's 50 holes in this mesh. So that's minus 50 micron gold that's going in there. So hopefully there's gold in there. The material is very, very interesting. Lots of chalcopyrite, arsenopyrite, sulfides, quartz. There's a bunch of host rock in here. I don't know what's which. So I'm just going to crush it all, and we're going to go through it. I still haven't seen one piece of gold. I'm remaining optimistic. My goal is 1/4 gram. I'd like to get 1/4 gram out of this. Whether we will or not, that remains to be seen. But that's where we're at, and that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Hopefully my blender blades show up tomorrow, because I'm going to blender everything that's minus 10, because this is now minus 10. It was minus 20, but now it's minus 10. So I'm going to blender everything that's minus 10. So I need to make all of that, which is probably about, it's over half the material. So it's over 10 pounds of material into that. And then whatever gets turned into that is a bonus that I don't have to blend. All right. Update complete. Smashy Rocky timey. Broke that rock. This is 10. So anything that goes through is a minus 10. Minus 10 goes in there. This is 50. 50 mesh. Anything minus 50 goes in there. I don't know if you can see that, but that is like very fine particles. Mr. Rogers has broken a weld down here. It's only got the top welds left. I hope it survives. Probably gonna get one use out of this. I don't know if you can see, but there's lots of little rocks in there. I'm pretty sure my blender can take care of those little rocks too. But I don't have a classifier in between the 1/2 inch and whatever these little gravels are. So they're getting crushed also. Somewhat crushed. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but this is day 4. Of me doing this. Day 4. 4 days. 20 pounds of material. And I'm expecting 1/4 of a gram of gold. Math is not my strong subject. So you do the math. Oh, and by the way, while we're here, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Hi, welcome to day 5 of turning big rocks into little rocks. All right, bringing you in for a couple things. 550 corded my sledgehammer to the beater and gave it a little more beef. I was able to crush a little bit easier. Those are my littles. Those are my middles. And those are my biggles. That is plus 20 minus 1/2 inch-ish, probably around 1/4-ish. Probably 1/4-ish. Minus 1/4 inch plus 20. Minus 20 to plus 50 minus 50. All right. I think what I'm going to do is this tub that I've been using for the rocks the whole time is covered with a dust. I don't know if you can see the dust on all of my stuff. I'm going to rinse that off real quick and I'm going to give it a pan out. I'm just going to give it a little test pan, see where we're at, see if there's any gold in here. Because like I said, I have not seen one piece of gold yet. I'm worried, yet optimistic. So we'll bring you right back in, see if I find anything in that dust. Oh yeah. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. They put that subscribe button there for free. Can you believe that? All right, I saw one little piece of gold in there. Still remaining optimistic about this. Yeah, I see a couple of pieces in there. Really small. But this was, like I said, this was just from the dust that was stuck to the side of that tub. So this isn't going to make or break us. We're going to keep on moving on with the procedure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have 2 classifications right now. I'm going to try and flatten that out so you can see where we're at. This is my minus 50. Basically, this is my dust. I have about 3/4 of a gallon of that stuff. And then this is my kitty litter. This is anything that's plus 50 that I have left. There's nothing that's bigger than 1/8 of an inch. And there's about 3/4 of a gallon also. My rock crusher, I can't. that little hand rock crusher, I cannot crush this down any farther with that. So what I did is I went to Walmart and I got one of these cheap coffee grinders. So we're gonna grind it down as far as we can. There are little holes in the blade, and I got this chain. So when the blades get worn down, I'm gonna put a link of this chain on there and spin that around, and that's gonna crush the rocks down. So after I get all set up, I'll bring you in for a little bit of that. All right, this is an old one that I had. See how, probably not. There's a hole in the blade, and I can put one of those pieces of chain in there. It's not ideal, and it's not safe, but it works. So, oh, and by the way, I am using my respirator while I'm doing this. You do not want to breathe in this dust. Always wear your personal protective equipment. Put my mask on, and then I'm going to run this. Okay, I'm wearing my respirator. Don't want to breathe this stuff in. This one might break almost immediately because I've already ran a little bit of the material through it. But pretty dusty. So then you just bring that over here. Chain still in there. Anything that doesn't go through the classification goes back in the bucket for a second beating. So I'm going to keep doing this until I ain't got no more grinders. Stay tuned. Okay, that did not take long because that grinder broke almost immediately. I'm gonna have to save that half for another day when I have a crusher. This is what's gonna be what's gonna be. So I'm gonna wash the lighter material off of this first, and then we're gonna try and extract some gold from it, see if there's any gold in it. So stay tuned. Okay, this is my minus 50 material. It's about 3/4 of a gallon. It's approximately half of the material. If I had a scale, I would weigh it, but I don't have a bathroom scale. So we don't want any small gold to float away, and we know that there's going to be a lot of small gold. So we're going to add a little jet dry to this, just a little. Okay, this is my grout mixer. I mix grout with this when I do tile. There is a little grout attached to it, but I guarantee that there's no gold in there. So it doesn't matter if it flies off and gets in our stuff, because we're going to try and clean it out anyways. So I'm pouring this into the stub so I don't lose any material. I did notice that there are some black sands coming out of it when I'm pouring off the white stuff, so we'll see what happens. This is our gold prospecting experience, traveling journey together, and we're both in this together. All right, I washed that off like 4 times, and it's fairly clean. Lots of black sands in it. So what I've done is I've let this sit for a while, and like all the sediment has fallen to the bottom. I've dumped a lot of the water out. You can see the sediment that's in the bottom of that. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that there's gold in that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer this into that bucket, and I'm going to let this, I don't know, I might run it through the buddy sluice. I mean, I don't even know if there's even any gold in there. It's all the lighter material. But I'm going to let that sit for a while. I'm going to let the heavies drop out. I'm going to drop the water off, and then I'm going to transfer it to this bucket. But we're going to run that into the sluice bucket through the sluice. So I need this tub. I'm going to let this water sit out for a while, and then I'll bring it back in after the sluice is all set up. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my simple sluice is set up. I have it set up with my Torrent 8 from Prospector Tripp with a speed controller, and it is super slow. I have this set at, I think you can probably see that, 7, 8, 8 degrees. It said 7 a second ago. 8. Okay, I can raise it up just a little bit, make it 7 degrees. But yeah, we're running it super slow. Everything looks good. Let's see if I can't raise that up a little bit. It's just a little wedge. Okay, now it's set on 7 degrees. So it's between 8 and 6. We're gonna go 7. And yeah, I'm just gonna start feeding this. Hopefully there's some gold in it. Get my scooper. All right, first scoop. We may have to turn it up a little bit. All right, I'm seeing sparklies in there. So either we found some gold, or it's a bunch of mica, or it's a bunch of fool's gold. But how slow I've got this set up, it's going to take quite a while. I'm imagining I'm going to catch everything in the indicator mat, but we'll see. I got my squirt bottle here with my Adina Little Hail sticker set on it, so just to help wash the spoon off. Spoon, scoop. And this is going into a tub, so hopefully I'm catching all of my tailings into that tub, and if we don't recover any gold, we're going to have to do something else with this material. But it looks like there's gold in the indicator, Matt. See if I can't zoom you in on that a little bit. All right, see the sparklies? That's definitely a piece of gold right there. It was yellow. That was the first piece of gold I've seen, the first real piece of gold. I hope I'm catching this because my riffles are all filled up, and I hope that it's not all just filled up with quartz because there's still gold trapped in the quartz, if you know what I'm saying. But I mean, I've got to work at this slow because this gold is so small. But I'll tell you right now, there is no material, virtually no material in the bottom riffle. It's all in the top and then the first couple, but there's nothing in the bottom one down there. It is working its way through. So hopefully it's doing its magic. And this looks good up here. I hope you're seeing what I'm seeing. And I got terrible eyes, so. This is probably going to take all day to do. So I'll bring you back in a little later down the road. See, you can see it working. It's magic, doing its thing in the vortexes. It's doing its magic all the way down. This is just filled up with blacks, and then this is the lighter material. I haven't seen. There's something right there in that one. That could be a piece of gold, but the indicator mat up top is got all kinds of colors in it, so we're just going to keep on going. All right, I've been carrying on. I don't know if you can see that indicator map, but it looks pretty good. What I've been doing is just putting it right on the Prospector Tripp's Torrent 8, and this is 3D printed, so it has little ridges on it. Now, it doesn't trap the gold, but it catches it. See, there's a piece of gold right there, and I can see that. And then there's also a little lip right there that's catching the gold. And but right where the Torrent 8 meets the Simple Sluice, it's churning in there. That's just rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. And I'm hoping that's catching gold in there. Yes, I'm liking the Torrent 8. Prospector Tripp, you did a great job on this. Go over to Prospector Tripp's website. He has an eBay page. You can go get one of these. There's a piece of wire gold right there. See it? See that gold? There's another piece of wire gold that's right there. At least it looks from wire gold from where I'm standing. It could just be a bunch of gold wadded up. I was very worried about this material not having any gold in it because I haven't seen any gold. But now that I'm running through these sluice, it looks pretty good. hopefully we can fire up the torches and melt us down a button. Oh, and by the way, the lower I get in this bucket, the more gold I'm seeing on the Torrent 8. So hopefully it's getting caught down here in the gold mat, those, whatever. Cut that part out. The dream mat combo dream mat. Oh, and yeah, there are some bigger chunks of material in there, so somehow it must have got through the classifier. That's what I'm going to blame it on, the classifier, not my classifying. It looks pretty good in there. I hope you're seeing what I'm seeing. It looks like the universe. A golden rainbow of universal colors. There's a piece of gold right there. There's a piece of gold. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 pieces of gold. 8 pieces of gold I can see in the red up there. So yeah, I'm digging the Torrent 8. And it's been, see how I put a whole bunch of material on there and it just works up. There's a piece of gold right there. See it? See all that gold in there? It's like an even better indicator mat than the indicator mat. No offense to the indicator mat. Okay, I'm bringing you in real quick because these bottom riffles are all filled up with black sands and everything, and I don't want to lose any gold. So I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to transfer what's in this sluice right now into a bucket so we can pan that out, and then we're going to keep running the sluice. So stay tuned. I'll get this cleaned out. We'll get set back up and we'll keep on running. All right, I am coming down to it. There's not much material left in this bucket. Yeah, the red is a really good indicator, Matt. Gold, 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 gold. See all that? Any white dot you see up there is gold. As I said, it won't stay up here because the ridges are very fine on the 3D printing, but it's a great indicator that shows what's going on. So, as I said before, you should go over to Prospector Tripp's eBay page and pick one of these up. Well worth it. And Prospector Tripp is a Navy veteran. So yeah, go support our veterans and go support Prospector Tripp. Okay, we are coming down to it. There's not much left. And the Simple Sluice has performed really good, in my opinion, also.
Just been feeding it slow and low. I'm giving it time to work its way down the sluice and clean out before I do anything drastic. I hope we really get to see some gold at the bottom of this. That'd be nice if we lit this whole thing up with gold at the bottom of our bucket. That's a bunch of heavies right there. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11 million. Million to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just a little bit left. Not much. That's gonna do it. I need a little squirt one more time. Okay. A little more water. After this is all washed through, I'm gonna let this work its way down the sluice because there's still a lot of fines in the bottom. I'm gonna let those clear out for a little bit, and then we're gonna empty the sluice box out. Second time we're gonna empty it out. Oh, I should probably wash this off too now. Let that gold go down into the sluicer. The empty sluice. That's not empty. It's all filled with gold. Gold, gold, gold. We like it. There's a bunch of gold in there. I can see it where it was churning right here. That is a great idea to feed it on here and then let it fall over the cliff. There's still a piece of gold on there. All right. Probably a whole bunch of gold. Yeah. Definitely go Prospector Tripp's web page and pick you up one of these. Okay, that's my material. That's the silt, and then that is the tailings. There is a bunch of black sands in there. I am definitely going to keep this material because there's probably still trapped gold in there, and I'm going to have to recover one way or the other. But that is what we're going to be panning out.
All right, that's going to be my first pan. I'll get this panned out, and then I'll bring you back when we get some gold. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been panning that down for 20 minutes, and every time I pull it back, gold falls down. So I'm having a problem separating it from all the black sands. These black sands are not like river black sands. And I've been trying to separate it for 20 minutes, and I haven't been able to isolate one piece of gold. There's gold in here. This is still the first pan. There's gold in there. It's just that every time I pull it down and bring it back, the gold goes with it. All that is silvery stuff is gold. One pull, it all comes down. I think it's in there with the tellurides and the sulfides. It's all just coming down. Give it the little tap. The gold doesn't work up. I mean, some of it does. I've been working on this for so long. I can't. I can't isolate enough gold. So, short of having a kiln and soda ash and Anheuser's borax and some silica sand, I just melt this out. I don't have a crucible. I can't do it. We're done. We're done. So this will go in my closet for